I might miss sex.
Fair. That's fair. You're like,
But
my vibrator is only doing so
yeah,
much.
no, look, the vibrator is good. And listen, I'm having, I'm having the kind of sex I never had in my 20s or in my 30s.
Love.
Yes. And so that part has been really exciting. But I'm not missing like a relationship. I'm not
Yeah.
missing the partnership that I think people think you miss when you're me.
And it feels like what you're also saying is it's not that you're not open to it. You're just at a point in
No.
your life where you're
Yes.
really content and you're really happy.
That's it.
And I want to also point out, because I can only imagine now, even you just lightly explaining to me the judgment that comes with a woman in your position. And we know women in Hollywood
Yeah.
who are single and people are like, oh, what is actually fucking wrong
Yeah.
with her?
Yeah. She must be a real bitch.
How
What a cunt.
truly, like, you fucking cunt. How crazy are you?
Yeah. How crazy are you?
Truly.
Yeah.
But how gorgeous to also hear you saying, like, everything you're saying makes me more wanting to put it back on other people who are so triggered of like, how many relationships do we know of these women in these households with these men who have lost their voice, who are not happy? It's not everyone, but being alone, you have that control that a lot of people don't have in these certain relationships that they've lost themselves to. So I think it's commendable that you're like, I know myself enough. I'm going to stay right here until I want to change it. And then maybe I'll
Yeah.
change it. But
Yeah.
guess what? It's your decision.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I watch you with your husband, and I'm like, God, that's so incredible. And why can't we just, as women, experience these two, have these two very different experiences, and let that be okay?
So I'm gonna just leave it there for now. This was an hour podcast, a little over an hour, I believe, where they spoke about a lot of different subjects. It was like an hour and a half, and they spoke a lot about a lot of different subjects. She says that she says she recently had sex with a 26-year-old. She says she's not interested in introducing a man into her life, into, she's a single mother. She said a lot. So, what do you think about this whole conversation as stoking thoughts about toxic feminism and femininity into the spaces in this whole Charlize Theron interview?
She a
She
thought.
raised her son as a girl.
Did she?
Yeah, she was like one of those celebrities that was doing the whole gender, her and the Brad Pitt's, oh, baby mama, whatever. So she just, I think she just wants to be a man. I don't agree with, I mean, I think she's a great actress, but as far as a human being, we have these celebrities with these mental health issues and we have praised them for so long. These liberal white women have been the downfall of society for so long. So I don't think we should listen to anything that they say. Like, they are the whole reason why we are going through all of this turmoil in this country to begin with. That's how I feel. And of course, she doesn't feel like she needs a man. She's the man. She is the man. And I feel like that's what a lot of these older feminists are doing. They're being the sugar mama. They'll pay for their little YN to come, pay his bills. Let's go on vacation. Let me live my best life. And I believe them. I believe them. I think that they are just so masculine in the mind. She probably thinks that she's better off living how a bachelor would live. I don't know. I'm just tired of these women though.
I
Facts.
agree with Molly, but I think it's deeper than that. I think they get incentivized to push these narratives. They getting paid to do it because it makes no sense. It doesn't benefit them to really raise these kids on their own. It don't benefit them to look like a thought. It's just it's sad, man. Like I don't get it, man. Like, and then like they went when Carrie sent the link to Pierce Morgan and they're reacting to it, and I think the problem is on that women are celebrating her for that shit. I think that's part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then there was women that was saying, "Oh no, that women don't get celebrated for this," and I think they're absolutely wrong. Women definitely get celebrated for being a thought. The whole show, Sex on the City, was based off that. That shit was based off them bitches being thoughts. They all was getting ran through. They all was getting ran through, and they was looked at. And then the one with the dark hair, she was doing that shit in real life and getting celebrated for it. It wasn't just the role for her. So like, man, they getting praised for this shit. And they were saying like, yo, men been doing this for years, and it's okay for them to do it. It's definitely okay for a man to do that because a man literally has to provide. He has to provide a lifestyle. He can afford to do that. He can afford to get 3, 4 women pregnant. Well, if he can afford to do that, let's say that's perfect. If he can afford to do that, he can do that. He can live that lifestyle, and it's sustainable. Women, you get left out to dry when you live that kind of life, and you not laying down with the right man. Man, condoning like one night stands and all that weird ass shit, man. Hell no. Women shouldn't be living like that. Men really shouldn't either, but it costs a woman way more. It costs her way more to live like that, to be a thought. It costs you way more down the line, man. Way down the line, it's gonna cost you. You know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna be trying to you're gonna be trying to be abstinent when it's time to get married. Fuck that. Nah, don't be no fucking thought, man. That's what Charlize Theron is, man. She a thought. Period. Don't do that shit.
Yeah, I had no ideas about her prior to watching that link that Carrie sent, but afterwards, I have no respect for her really. Um, I mean, to hear a woman say, "Well, I don't need love" or whatever, I feel like, okay, I hear pain and trauma coming through. I don't think that's a natural response. So to me, you're just saying like I've got some issues I haven't worked through, and I'm afraid to get hurt. And then she said, "Well, I don't need a man for my kids. That's going to be their story to tell. I'm not concerned about it." And I'm just like, how can you be so callous about your children and their
Yeah, that was
lives?
wild.
That
You're
is
right.
insane. You're just like, well, whatever their story is, that's their story. It has nothing to do with me. I mean, that was
Woo.
real tacky. And then to sit there and say and to basically brag about this one night stand that she had, I think is it's an affront to my femininity for sure. I feel like I would like to go back to the days when we kept that sort of information behind closed doors. Like, why do we know anything about your sex life for anybody? Like, whose business is that? And I don't know. I've been anti one night stands forever, and I'm just like, if you take that sort of platform and you say that out loud, you're condoning it, and it's just driving us further into the hole that we're already in as a society.
They're detached. They live in their own. These people be in cults. They
Yeah.
live a completely alternative lifestyle than the normal person. They don't even, they just have and it's normal for them, especially in California. It's just normal. So they don't really understand how much that they are impacting the culture.
Well, I
They're
don't
not
think they
really.
really think for themselves either. They just do what they're told. They do it. They go with the flow. Uh,
Or if you like born into a cult type situation and then you pushed into stardom because that's what your parents did and they were part of a cult, like what do you do? I think us normal people who watch them need to stop watching them and stop following the things that they do. Start finding our own, our own lane because they are weird. They will sleep with children,
Right, because
mm.
26
allegedly.
barely outside of that range. I did watch a little bit more of that interview, and one of the guys was saying that once the women get older in Hollywood, they're just kind of washed up. They're not the sex symbol anymore. Maybe she's saying that, maybe she's putting it out there to say, look, I'm still young and hot enough to be with this 26-year-old, but I mean, he's a dude.
Nah, what
He get no points for that.
I think when homeboy, I think it was homeboy said like it's not really what did he say? It wasn't I don't know. He said it wasn't impressive. It wasn't an impressive feat to even mention that she got knocked off by a 26-year-old. Like it's you could go out and and give your box up at any point to anybody. It really ain't impressive. Like you said, like you just giving yourself away. Men are gonna take it. That's
I don't think she
easy
was
to do.
bragging though. I think she was kind of saying that feminism has evolved to a point, or women have evolved to a point to where they can detach themselves from the love aspect or from men in order to have casual sex, and that they don't need men in the traditional way anymore. I think that that's one of the things that she was trying to say.
I think she was gloating about laying down with a 26-year-old. Because you don't even gotta say that. We already know. We already know you feel like that about men. We already know that because that's what feminism is. We already know you feel like you don't need men. So there ain't no reason to say that in code. I think she was really trying to gloat about laying down with this 26-year-old. The way she framed it, she was like, I you know, it just seemed like she was gloating.
She might have been. You might be right.
Yeah, I think she was gloating about that shit, man. Like it was. I ain't gonna lie. It was very, 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 very slutty. Like that was slutty. You know what I'm saying? Like the statements, and then to turn around and say that shit about the kids. That whole thing. Seeing her sit there as a woman, being that detached from reality, man, that shit was kind of scary.
You
And
said it
then
was
the
Isn't
kind
it
of
kids
just?
scary.
are adopted.
Yeah, that's
They're
scary. That's
adopted
scary that
kids.
they
They're
adopted.
adopted kids. They're black kids. I think they're
Oh, get
from.
the fuck
I
out
think
of
they're from
here.
Africa. And I can't tell
Hmm.
if it's both girl. But one was definitely a boy that
A
right,
Right.
boy,
she says is a girl
a
now.
girl. Hmm.
Somebody said that both were boys, but I also see where it
I
says she
think
had a
so.
boy and a girl. I can't really even tell. I don't know.
Okay,
They wrote a
so
whole
this
article on her saying boys will be girls.
so this is a white woman that took in some black kids and said, "I don't give a fuck if you have a dad." Oh, okay, okay.
And that
I,
the at least Jackson identified as a girl as early as 3 years old.
That's
man,
what
Yeah,
they
but think
do
man,
about
there,
I
this
ain't
though.
too.
even.
How many
That's
men are going to walk
normal.
into
Hey,
that?
man, I ain't gonna cap, man. I'm not gonna cap. Somebody, I ain't gonna even say that on out loud. Yeah, that ain't even worth it. Like that shit crazy to me though, man. But
Absolutely. How many
this
men are going to
is
walk
I
into that
think that should be
situation and be
illegal.
man,
okay
what
with
the
her
fuck, bro?
presenting this kid as a girl and it's not? Like,
Look at
Man,
D
that's the same
Wade.
shit we yeah, I was about to say that's the same shit we was just
That's
accusing
what
what's her
they
name of? What's her
do.
name? What's this woman's name?
Zaza.
Nah. What's her name? Gabrielle Union. This is the same
not
exact
going
shit we accused her of. This is kind of worse because she chose to do it this way for that reason. She wanted to do this.
It gives them
And what's
something to talk
interesting,
about. They're too privileged, they're too rich. They have to have something to keep their lives interesting, something to keep them, give them something to talk about. Oh yeah, I let my son transition. Like they're so boring. They live these boring lives. They have to do something odd, and they're just weird. I don't. They've been
well,
weird.
and I think
Anybody
we're
who
in
sits
a
there and makes
space.
a acting career is a weirdo to sit there and pretend all day. I'm just saying, but
I think we're also in a space now where you being the victim as opposed to having to be responsible for decisions you've made and you justifying like your behaviors to cover up your insecurities are all celebrated. Like I look at it this way, and watching the Piers Morgan thing helped me to see this perspective. She's an older actress who once was more I don't know if you would call her like a sex symbol, but she's an attractive actress, right? So she's older now, which to me connects to why she was so excited to say that she slept with this 26-year-old. So she's probably washed up in some regard to what attention she used to get. Pierce said that he didn't know her, but I don't know if he said he interacted or interviewed her when she was dating Sean Penn back in the
Yeah,
day,
I
and
was
he was like she was so classy and so like her
yeah.
whole demeanor was different versus who he sees sitting on his couch like this right now.
When I looked her up, she's never been married. She's dated actors. It clearly hasn't worked. She hasn't had her own children. And you're telling me now the way you're living your life is your true happiness. You don't need love. You have two kids that don't look anything like you, nothing to people who adopt. God bless you. You got one son that's like a daughter. You're having one night stands with 26-year-olds. And here we go. The culture says kudos to you. No accountability for the men you probably chose or for the way you acted in those relationships. No accountability for your choice in career, maybe versus choosing family. No accountability. Like, it's sickening. I'm sorry. It is sickening. Hence me looking at all this stuff with this feminism stuff. Like, it's toxic. It is extremely toxic. And then this lady, I wouldn't even thought she was married. The way that she's cheering her on, and I don't know, her husband makes me question some things.
Well,
So
liberal white women will still get married. They just might not get married to the most masculine of men, but a lot of the times those are the ones who be married.
I don't know how they mess with these chicks in Hollywood. Like, I don't know why anybody would ever even mess with these hoes. I, you're right, Molly. All of them is weird to me, man. All of them. All of these industry chicks, all of these Hollywood chicks is way weirder than the industry chicks, man. They seem like they just got this aura of demonic something on them, and that shit just don't like it just seemed like, ugh, I can't really mess with you. Like, those are the type of chicks that I would be scared to even have sex with, bro.
Mm-hmm. All them spirits on them.
Seriously, man. Like, all box ain't good box, all of that junk, man. And they just all, maybe they are bored. Maybe they don't have nothing better to do. And so as a result, they spend the majority of their time trying to figure out how to be as weird as fucking possible, man. Like, I don't know,
I,
man. They stay weird to me. All of that junk is weird to me, bro.
I think it's because they play all those roles. I think that shit really fuck with their psyche.
Yeah, bro.
I was about to say they
These
probably
people,
don't even know who they really
these
are.
Yeah, yeah,
people,
that's exactly what it is. I don't think they have a true identity of themselves anymore. They don't know who they are. Pierce
man,
This
Morgan
is
said
it's
that.
regular
this is probably
people.
a bad example to bring up, but have y'all ever heard Pamela Anderson in her now years talk about her life before?
Nah.
Because you know she doesn't wear any makeup or anything like that now. And if you listen to her conversation, she's like, I all of that was a show. All of that was a facade. All of that was a cover up. Like, and she got to a point where she realized she had absolutely no clue who she was. Like, period. Beyond all of what she was to other people, what she played herself out to be. Um, it was, and she said she realized once she got her feet in the dirt and got into her garden, got back to nature, like that's when she started to reconnect with who herself was. Now I get it, she done went through a whole bunch of stuff before that, but a lot of people are lost. They don't know
Yeah,
who they are.
I think when you start playing like when you if you start embodying with something that ain't real, like think about this. You really putting you putting on a costume as yourself to be somebody else for you doing this shit for like a year, maybe year and a half. You playing the role of somebody else that's not you, but it's you. That is in
I don't think
itself.
it has a role in it, Sonny, at all.
No, I think it do because it's a lot of people that didn't kill themselves after they didn't play some really extreme roles, and it's people whose lives have been extremely fucked up after they didn't did
It's
so
regular
many.
actors all day long. You look at a Wood Harris, shit. You can look at a Denzel Washington. You can look at a lot of different people. It's regular people all over that don't
And,
even.
and you know what I will say about them? They don't play extreme roles where they're so far away from the norm of who they come off to be as a person. They don't play like this
Doing like
wild I've seen role. And you also named men. I don't think it might affect men affect the same way if they're not playing extreme roles either.
I don't. I personally, I don't think that plays a role in it. I think it's what happens when you living in that lifestyle in that particular area in Hollywood, hanging out with weird ass people. I think what happens off camera plays much bigger role than what happens on camera. Heath Ledger, for example, they keep saying Heath Ledger, he died of a prescription overdose. He didn't kill himself. He died of a prescription overdose, literally. So when I we got to start dealing with facts. People be having real life problems. They be dealing with some shit that be really happening in real life. Getting to a certain level and being associated with certain people can be a lot. It can be a lot. It's just a lot that go with it. I think that fame is a lot. I think that all of that junk is a lot. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But she weird. It's
No,
I know that.
I think that shit take a toll on people. I really do. Because some folks I know, just the people I know, like that act, they be a little different.
Right.
They be a little different. Like they ain't did no whole like change and let's I mean and to think that people who play certain roles, certain demonic roles, to think that don't affect them, I think it most certainly does. Like
Um,
Al Pacino playing Satan himself. Come on, man. I
and what
it
have
take
you
a
heard about
certain.
Al Pacino?
You say what?
And what have you heard about Al Pacino that makes him so weird?
No, I'm just saying like to think that didn't take a toll on his life. I think it does. I think it does. Like to embody something that's not existing as yourself. I mhm. I don't
Anybody
know.
else got anything else to say about this one? All right. Let me go ahead and read some of the super chats and we'll move over to the next one. We got a couple more. So we're making good time today, actually. Um, did the carries take? See that? See her at the bottom? You got the carries take? Don't worry about it. Um, I'm gonna deal with that one. So we go into that one. Mark Pyers, tax coach on the next one. That was a he was asking about Dwight Howard. Uh, private investigator says tell G.
It could be.
Danita Atkins says I agree with Carrie and Kim. When you are giving advice, make sure you get the full context. Y'all are funny. Shout out to Danita. I appreciate you. Tell G says going to be impossible keeping a side chick dating Kimmy.
The messed up part is it wouldn't even be necessary, but carry on.
She just talked about it. Tell G says I ain't gonna hold you. Them two look like they could make a sequel to White Chicks. Tell G says Molly is Steph Curry tonight. See if she can keep it up. He also says Grover is correct. They do get an incentive for pushing agendas. Even McNeil admitted he gets paid more when he raps about violence and tyranny. High Tolerance says Charlize has accepted the hedonistic lifestyle along with an insatiable appetite for Coke cans, plantains, and everything in between. Molly is cooking tonight, says is queen to you too. All productions, I appreciate you. Gina Do says Anton, you be picking and choosing what you want to take from the Bible. Gina been on my ass lately. You've been picking and choosing what you want to take from the Bible. Yes, he ultimately wants us to be a virgin, but he also said, go and sin no more. Help us out here, Carrie. I ain't gonna go in on you. I like you, Gina. How can I join the panel? Shout out from Pittsburgh. Shout out to you, Louis McCaskill. Um, the Monday night panels is different. Those is when you hit up Q. The after hours, this is like the crew. So somehow you got to get in with the crew in order to get on the panel. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Was that a male or or a female that asked?
I was a male.
You gotta have breastises.
No,
Hey, spaces you watching? I told you.
Oh, that was Spaces.
No, it
That
wasn't
wasn't spaces.
Spaces.
That
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
spaces.
No, it wasn't Spaces.
Spaces is cool.